Howdy folks. Today we're going to be reviewing the Thieaudio V3 and let's unbox it. Here's the box. We have a cable, we got some headphones, and we got a little switcher in case you don't have a toothpick. Okay, cool unboxing. Cool story, brah. Alright, so let's get these guys off. You can check them out nice and close. Alright, let's see if I can get these into view. Whoa, I better just put those back down there. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, cool. Alright, so what we got here is, let me get behind the thing. Okay, they have two soundbars. They have 3 BAs. You can see that in there. A 2-pin connector, that's a QDC. They have 2 dip switches, and that's my preferred sound setting. And I gotta say, man, talk about fit and finish being cool. Those are pretty suckers. That's just nice. They're a little big for only having 3 balanced armatures. They could have definitely shrunk those down a bit. Yeah, but they fit well. As far as going in the ear, very, very comfortable, ergonomic, excellent. Tips are not too large. They fit most type of tips, like these ones. And as you can see, they kind of like expand over the thing. I think these came with them actually. Anyway, whatever, you get the point. Okay, cable, real quick. Triple win C8. Nothing special, it's about 30 bucks. I don't mind it, it's a good cable. Like 8 core or something like that. Cool, cable. Okay, let's talk about these a little bit. Price, 160 monies. US dollars, which is, well, for the amount of drivers, it's not the best deal in the world, but for the sound signature, it's pretty good, actually. These are tuned like TOTL, top of the line. They have a very airy signature. The fact that they don't have quite as few BAs as some higher end sets means they lack a little bit in some areas compared to those sets. But overall, for $160, these are very, very good. So let's talk about their sound. Let me just pop this up on the screen, and this is complete credit goes to the glorious Crinicle. Let me zoom out a little bit. Jesus, let me fix that. Okay, so there's 4 graphs. Probably good enough. Top one is both switches off, next is switch 1 on, next is switch 2 on, and last one is both switches on. So both switches off is way too treble heavy for me. In fact, I don't really get it, but the first switch, anytime that's up, these are too treble heavy for me, so well, whatever. I'm pretty much reviewing these in the 1 off, 2 up method, so that's the 3rd graph here. And I'm a mid kind of guy, I like mids, so that makes a little bit of sense. Actually, now that I'm looking at these graphs, I didn't look at them before, but seems like let's see. The first 2 graphs definitely don't have as much mids, and the second 2 have a lot more. So I would say, I'm just looking at like the differences between the last 2 graphs, and they're pretty similar. So whatever. So you got some graphs to look at there. Let's talk about some sound. Let me pull up their webpage real quick. Let's see if we could find yeah. Here we go. All right, so that's their site. I don't know offhand if you can customize these much. According to the site, not really. But anyway, 159 bucks. 3 balanced armatures. What's interesting about the BAs is, I'm trying to see if they tell you anything in here. Well, anyway, I'll just look down at these real quick. So there is actually two, let's see, 22955. So those are the Knowles, the big uns. Two what normally are used for bass drivers, but one's used for mids. So one's bass, one's mids, and then the little guy up there is for treble, which is an interesting configuration. And so the TSMR 4 Pro has the same configuration of 22955 Knowles BAs, one for bass, one for mids. And I like those a lot too. The mids for this 22955 BA is excellent. I don't know why more IEMs don't use it. Maybe because it's big? I'm not sure. I like it better than a lot of the other BAs for mids, so that's neat. Let's talk about sound. Okay, so we are the last one here. So, talking about timbre, we're going to give it a 6, which is to say these are sort of OCD detail-y, not so studio tuned. So 6 is pretty good, not the best. Next we have coherency. So coherency would be, do I hear any gaps or spots that the drivers aren't producing enough energy or sound? Give it a 7, so they do sound fairly coherent. And generally, the less drivers you have, the more coherency you have, not always. If you have a lot of drivers and you have a very coherent sound, that means you have some incredible tuners. They're doing a really good job in the crossovers and such. So about a 7, pretty good. Color or accuracy of sounds, we're going to give it a 7 as well, which is actually for 160 bucks. It's pretty high, really. They're somewhere between fun and clinical and studio, if that helps. Okay, so is there a special or magic factor? And I do hear these as being quite good. They do have some magic going on. Give it a 7 out of 10. And so why? Why? Why for a 3 balanced armature set would anyone care? I think that they did a really good job of hitting a total top-of-the-line tuning on these. So I have had the Thieaudio Voyager 14s. And what's really crazy is these are not that far off in terms of the sound signature of those. They don't use even close to the same drivers, but they really tried to hit the same signature, I think. And of course, same brand, so that makes sense. But that's a definite win. So people that are used to really high-end sets with the top-of-the-line tuning, these are going to probably hit your ears pretty well. Talked to a couple folks, and they kind of agree pretty much. So, really good. Got a 7 in terms of the magic factor. Stage depth, we're going to give it a 7. They're actually pretty okay. It's not like an electrostatic driver or anything like that, but for what they did with these, it's quite good. And like I said, this is all going to be with the dip switches 1 off, 2 on. I don't like the other signatures all that much, so we'll ignore them. Stage wideness, these are really, really wide, and that has sort of to do with the way they tuned the treble. We're going to give them an 8. Wow, they're really wide. I wouldn't say necessarily 3D, like holographic type wide, but they're pretty wide, like outside your ears. Sounds seem to come from outside your head, so that's pretty cool. Imaging kind of goes hand in hand with that. The treble's really good. We give it an 8 in imaging. You can really pinpoint stuff. Again, for 3 balanced armatures, wow, pretty good. Next, pressure buildup. Yep, they have that. But they fit really well. So actually, it's the kind of thing, if you're an active person, that may be hard to deal with. I don't know. But they don't get any extra points for that. Next, we have isolation. So we're going to give it a 7. They could be better if you stick some foam tips on there and shove them real far in. And if they fit you well, you might get an 8 out of that. But they're hollow, so they're not filled. So that does transmit a little extra noise into your ear. But then we have bass. So In stock form, these are not super bass heavy. They got bass, they're good, they're okay. I would prefer to EQ them up a bit. And so I'm going to give them a 6 in stock format with bass, and if you EQ them, you might get to a 7. Probably not much more than that. They have like a little slam if you EQ them up. I've heard other 22955 drivers do better, so maybe there's 2 of them in those, not sure, but we get a 6. And you can get better with EQ. And also I should say the EQ does not respond as well as some other sets. You can bass them up a little, but it ain't like, I would say the S8Z, the Fearless, that'll really bass up, and a lot of dynamic drivers do that as well. Next we have mids, so we're going to give that a 7. The Knowles 22995, the other driver in the mid area, does a fantastic job of sounding bold and beautiful. They tuned the set with a little extra treble for my tastes, so the mids get, they're not front and center, but they're really good. I like them. I'm going to give them a 7, which is great for 3 balanced armatures and 160 bucks. Treble. We're going to give that a 7. Now, I battled around in my mind with this a little bit because, sorry, gotta pan over, Jesus. So they might get maybe an 8 or even higher, except they are sibilant. Depending on which device you use and which track and blah, 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 you'll hear more of that or less of that, but they definitely have some sibilance going on. The treble is not super well controlled, but it is super airy and super detailed. So there you have it. 7. I feel like maybe I should have another metric on here for sibilance, and then that subtracts something, but I'll think about that. Next we have resolution. We're going to give it a 7. Again, planning or EST is better. I might bump that down just because the treble is like, I don't know, we're talking resolution specifically, not anything else, so it goes back and forth in my mind, because I mean, as soon as you hit a sibilance, you know, that destroys resolution because your brain goes, so probably a 7, maybe a 6, not sure, but it's got a lot of treble, so there's that. Binaural quality, since there's so much treble, it doesn't sound wonderful when you're trying to hear some accurate binaural sounds, so we get a 6. Special features, yes, there are sound switches, although I only like really one of the signatures, maybe 2, but we'll give it a 3. That's, you know, a couple extra points for being able to do that however you want. And overall we have like a 93, which puts them in, I'd probably have to rank these. I couldn't even tell you which position or whatever, it doesn't matter. But so the question would be, for 160 bucks, you know, do you want them? And I would have to say that if you're in the market and you're really a treble lover, you like your detail, you like wide signatures, I think these are probably a really good bet. They're not too expensive. They're pretty hype right now, so I mean, if you got a set, you could probably sell them if you didn't like them that much. That's always a positive, and then that drops off over time as more people get them, and then, you know, other IEMs come out. As far as the fit and the finish, gorgeous, wow. Thieaudio really knocked it out of the park with these guys. They're like as pretty as pretty much anything else I've seen, so that's neat. And certainly for 160 bucks, I've seen other headphones not be as nice, so that's something. Anything else that matters? Do I like them? I probably would not keep these if I had bought them. The reason is only personal, which is that I've moved on to really high-end sets for my personal things, and it's like, you know, paying $100 for a set is, I mean, that's a good deal, but what point is there? And you know, that's kind of like a thing with a lot of audiophiles is, do I buy a bunch of medium end sets or low end, say between 100 and, I don't know, 500, or do I save my money up and I buy a top of the line, say over $1,000? And I would say absolutely save up your money with the reservation that if you do that and you don't like the IEM, you're going to eat some money on it, and it's probably going to be quite a bit, which is, you're probably going to eat more selling a top of the line than you would on this type of thing, where you'd eat maybe, you know, I don't know, 20 to 50 bucks at most. So something to think about. So would I buy these for myself? Probably not. I like a more warm quality in my IEMs. But for people that are treble lovers, love OCD detail, love a wide sound stage, maybe aren't bass heads like me, these are really, really nice and might beat a lot of other stuff that's even more expensive, actually. Like off the top of my head, like some BGVPs, like I think the DM, what is it, S? Probably I think the same price, about 160 bucks. These beat the hell out of those. What else is in that area? Like the Tin T2, T4s. I could have sworn I looked those up. I think I have the price wrong. Anyway, I like these better. Let's say that. How about the Shozy Forum 1.1? I like these better. How about BGVP DM6? I like these better. DM7, I like these better. Just trying to throw out some like low-end stuff that someone might have heard themselves. Blonde 03. No. The blondes just hit me in the sweet spot. It's funny. It's kind of like the thing for some people, and some people hate them or don't like them. But anyway, I wanted you guys to check these out. They're definitely a great value for 160 bucks. Made excellently, and they got a bit of hype going on right now. So hope you enjoyed this, and man, look at how pretty those are. Cool. Have a great day.